Hi, it's Jody Medell, Doctor of Physical Therapy and Transformational Coach, welcoming you back to video number 7 of our Trauma and Healing series. And the goal again is coming home to you. So we want to come home to our heart space, reside in our heart space, and we do that through the healing process of healing the effects of trauma that we've experienced in our lifetime. This is the last video in this series, and I hope to pull it all together and give you a final piece of healing homework so that you can continue to be mindful and to continue to work on your healing process of, again, healing the effects that trauma has had on you. So let's do a little recap to get us to where we are right now. We first spoke about trauma, and I'd say the takeaway from that is that we can't change the actual trauma. What we can do, and we can only do this in present time, is to change the effects that trauma has had on us. And again, we only do that right here, right now. We can't go into the past, nor can we jump ahead into the future without being right here. The second key component of trauma is that with the experiences of trauma, it can create brain dysregulation. And that means that our brain is on high guard with fight or flight mode, and there are two other Fs. We can also experience freeze and fawn, but for the most part, we think about the sympathetic nervous system taking us into overdrive, into fight or flight. And if we've experienced trauma in the past, we can become dysregulated so that our automated response is that of fight or flight. So given a normal environmental trigger, it can drive us into this fight or flight mode, which is overkill for what the trigger is. But it becomes automated, and it's just something that happens because due to the trauma, it's gone into this automatic pilot, and it becomes the way of our reaction to an environmental trigger. The second, or the third piece here is that with the brain dysregulation, we also end up with a heightened inner critic. And I call the inner critic, or I define the inner critic as being our ego identity on steroids. Because again, based on the overdrive of our sympathetic nervous system, our inner critic then is on overdrive. And it's basically the judgment that resides in us. Not only does it judge us, it judges those around us. And when we sit in judgment of ourselves, we're never ever good enough. We'll never be enough. We always want to do more because we always want to try to achieve this level of perfection somehow to prove that we're legit, to prove that we're really good, to prove our own existence. But our inner critic is constantly there to bring you down, take you down that rabbit hole, and again, tell you you aren't good enough. But with the inner critic and the sympathetic nervous system working together, we run on automatic pilot. We're reacting to the triggers in present time. So the healing that we spoke about, the healing journey that we've been on, is to, one, be mindful of what tense we're living in. Are we constantly in the past recreating what was? Are we in the future hoping to have something different? Or are we right here, right now, being mindful in this moment of where we're at, what we're thinking, and what we're doing? We also spoke about being the observer, spending time so that we can step back from the drama. And instead of engaging with and becoming the video that's playing out of our lives and being emotionally charged from it all, we stop, we step back, and we observe our life as it unfolds. And instead of going into automatic pilot and simply reacting, being the observer allows us to step back, take time, slow down, pause, reflect, and respond. And by responding in this moment of time, we're changing the trajectory of the future as compared to going into automatic pilot and reacting. We're stopping it. But we can only do that by being right here, right now, stepping back, observing, and then responding. We also included meditation. In the last video, we spent time together in meditation. That's creating a space of love and light for you. It's your time to be present with you. Prior to meditation, we took some moments to write down what was on our mind. Anything that was spinning in our mind that wanted our attention. We wrote down on paper. We blessed it. We put it in a balloon. We cut the cord and we sent it away so that it could be transmuted into energy that benefited all. But we honored that our mind does speak to us and it has a voice. So we wanted to honor that before going into meditation so that as we entered meditation, if the mind came and started talking to us, we could just, again, put it in a bubble, a balloon, cut the cord and let it go so that we could spend that time in our heart space being present. And it was simply about loving on ourselves and bringing in all that we could to help support the journey of coming back to our heart space and loving on ourselves. All right, so today, my final homework for coming home to you is to change the narrative. And this pulls in everything we just talked about. To change the narrative means that we are in present time. We're changing the trajectory of our story. When we change the narrative, it means that we go back, we discover, or we tap into the effects that trauma has had on us, and we change our story about that so that we can respond, we can love on ourselves, and we can continue moment by moment to change the outcome. If we don't change the narrative and we stick to the old story, it could look like this. I could focus on the fact that I wasn't loved as a child. And because I wasn't loved as a child, I am now the victim and I don't need to love anyone else. And I'm in this low vibration of lack of love. And because I wasn't loved, I'm going to start blaming others for what happens to me. Because I'm angry. Because I was hurt. And if I stay in that and I repeat that, then I'm going to go into automatic pilot and my playlist is going to pull me into a downward spiral of kicking in my inner critic. I'm not good enough. Nobody loves me. This is why I can't do what I want to do in life. This is why I'm always getting hurt, yada, yada, yada. Right? What does that do for you? It does nothing but take you down the rabbit hole. And why is that? Because you're living on an old story that's gone into automatic pilot that's not changing. But you could take that story. I wasn't loved. I really want to feel love. So I'm going to pull love into my life. And if I haven't been loved on, I'm going to look inside myself to the little girl that resides within me, and I'm going to give her the most love I can, because now I'm an adult. Now I am capable of loving. So I can take the little girl that wasn't loved, that's a part of me, and give her all the love in the world. And in my meditation time, I can tap into my heart space and I can tap into my little Jody, and I can sit there and hold her and say, hey, Jody, what would make you smile today? What would bring light and laughter into your world? Let's do it. So in present time, you can choose to love on the little person inside yourself in my case, the little girl that didn't get it when she was growing up, and I can continue to love her every day and feel that love inside of my heart. So I can change that narrative. So now that I know love and I'm loving on myself, I am better equipped to love those around me. I am not looking outside of myself for some sort of love to fill up that empty space. I'm filling it up myself. But I have to do this in this moment. And I have to keep doing it every moment. And as I collectively add up all the times that I'm stopping automatic pilot, I'm staying present, I'm changing the narrative in the moment, I'm adding up all those changes in narrative so that my moments turn into hours, turn into weeks, then months, then years. I am changing my story. I'm changing the narrative so that the outcome of my life, the trajectory of my life, starting in this moment, takes me into full-on healing. And that healing is that I'm coming back home to me. I'm not looking outside of me for the answers. I'm not looking outside of me for all that I feel that I'm missing. I'm coming home to me, filling in those gaps with my own love of self, my own ability to stay present, to step back, to be the observer, to take the drama that's in front of me, acknowledge it, pause, slow down, and respond to it in a way that's meaningful and loving for me, and therefore loving for those around me. I get that this is hard work. It really is a dedication, but it's a dedication to loving on you, and you are so worth it. You're worth all the time, energy, effort that you put into coming home to you, because it changes your life. It changes the trajectory. It allows you to be fully, authentically, and beautifully you, with the power not only to change you, but to change the world as we work together collectively to bring in more love and more light and more healing. I thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I hope it was helpful for you, and I look forward to meeting up with you in the near future with some more videos related to trauma and healing. Have an amazing day.